Should I cut? Should I bulk? What the heck should I do? Today I'm going to take you through the full cutting and bulking guide, and I'm going to show you exactly how you should structure either a bulk or a cut. I'm going to talk about the pros and the cons of each, and I'm going to show you how you can design your program to maximize either a cutting phase or a bulking phase to see the best progress. Now, before we hop into the video, if you guys are new to the channel and you're ready to take your fitness to the next level and to get in the best shape of your life, make sure that you smash the subscribe button. I post content every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday to help you get in the best shape of your life, and I show you how you can blend running and strength training in a hybrid style, not only improve your fitness, but also improve your health, your longevity, and just get in the best shape of your life. So if you're subscribed, you won't miss out on the content I'm posting every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. If you're going to the gym, typically you're gonna have a specific goal that you're training for, or you should have a specific goal that you're training for. This is gonna allow you to design your program around that and really train with purpose and intensity. And when you're going to the gym, there's typically gonna be 2 or 3 categories that you're looking at. People are either gonna be trying to cut, where they're trying to lose body fats. People are gonna try to bulk, or trying to put on muscle mass and gain weight. Or there's gonna be people that are trying to maintain. I'm gonna take you through the cut and the bulk process. We'll talk about maintaining weight as well, the benefits and the drawbacks of that later in the video. But like I said, today we're gonna talk about the full process of cutting, bulking, what you should do, how many calories you should eat, how you should set up your training, the benefits and the drawbacks of each, and really give you everything that you need to know so that you can make the informed choice of whether you should cut or you should bulk. Now, nutrition is a huge part of the progress that you're gonna see in the gym. I left a link down in the description below where you can go fill out a form and I will personally calculate your macros for free. That's something that it's gonna be unique to each individual, and we're not gonna have time in the video to specifically calculate each person's individual needs on calories. So I left that form down in the description below. After you're done watching this video, go fill out that form and I will get your macros back for free. Whether you're looking to cut, bulk, or maintain weights, you'll have the specific amount of carbs, fat, protein that you need to eat to see the best progress. Let's talk about cutting first. When people go into a cutting phase, typically the goal is to maintain or build muscle mass while losing body fat. We never want to cut weight and say that we dropped 30 pounds, 20 of it was fat, but 10 of it was muscle. The goal is to bare minimum maintain the muscle mass that we have, and the goal is to try to lose the body fat. Now, if you don't know the way the basic energy balance works in the body, is in order to lose weight, we need to be in a caloric deficit. And what that means is we're burning more calories than we're eating throughout the day. Say, for example, that person A needs 2,500 calories to maintain their weight. Anything above that, they're typically gonna gain weight. Anything below that, they're typically gonna lose weight. And right at 2,500 calories, they're gonna maintain weight. Now, the different percentage of macronutrients is gonna play a huge role. And that's why I left that form down in the description below, because you need to follow a specific percentage of macronutrients. You can't just eat 2,500 calories worth of carbs and fat and expect to build muscle. Or you can't just eat 2,500 calories of protein and carbs and expect to build muscle. You need to have the right balance of each. And when you're in a cutting phase, it's gonna be something where you're gonna be eating in a caloric deficit. The best way to structure this is to be in a caloric deficit consistently. And where I see people go so wrong in a cutting phase is that they cut their calories far too low, and they get to this place where they don't have energy to work out, they feel terrible, they get frustrated, they're not losing weight because their body thinks that it's starving, it's gonna hold on to the body fat and get rid of muscle mass. This is a really frustrating place to be. So there is a fine line on the caloric deficit that you need to eat. Generally, the more that we move and the less that we eat, we're gonna lose weight, but there needs to be specific structure around that. As I mentioned, when you're in a cutting phase, the goal is to maintain your muscle mass. Now, this doesn't mean that you lighten up weights, that you stop strength training, that you change your training from the way that you did to build muscle. It just means that bare minimum, we want to still strength train and focus on trying to get stronger. But over the course of the cut phase, we want to maintain the muscle mass that we have. The more muscle mass that you have, the higher your metabolic rate is going to be. You're going to burn more calories at rest. You're going to maintain the muscle mass that you have. It's going to be easier to have more metabolic flexibility, meaning that it's going to be easier to lose body fat and maintain your muscle mass. Now, I am getting married in a couple weeks, and it was my goal to set out to get down to 8% body fat and get in the best shape of my life for my wedding. I reached that goal. Like I said, I'm getting married in a couple weeks. My next goal, actually currently to train for my first half marathon that is in October. So for me, my goal was to get to a specific body fat percentage. And that's what you need to ask yourself is, what am I trying to cut to? Why am I trying to cut? Why do I want to get to a certain body fat percentage? Because when you understand that why, it's going to be so much easier to focus that attention and that drive. If you're just doing it for someone else, or you're doing it to take some cool photos, those are the wrong reasons, and that motivation is not going to last. Because when you're cutting, there are going to be days where you're not going to have the best workout in the world. When you're in a caloric deficit for an extended period of time, your body's not getting enough to maintain. That's the whole idea behind that caloric deficit. So find out exactly why you want to achieve that certain body fat percentage or why you want to lose weight. Tap into that, hold on to that, and on those days where you're struggling, always go back and remember that. One of the cons that I experienced throughout my cut process was I cut for about 5 months. I started off at 18% body fat and I got down to 8% body fat. And over the course of that 5 months, that was a long time to be in a caloric deficit. And as I got closer to that 8 to 10% range, I did start to lose strength. And that's something where you need to set your expectations for the goals that you're trying to achieve. Now, if your goal is just to get to like a healthy body fat percentage, maybe somewhere between 10 and 20%, you're not going to lose a ton of strength as long as you prioritize heavy strength training in your program. But if your goal is to get sub 10% body fat, you need to realize that you may see a loss in strength and just overall muscle mass for the short term. But like I said, if that's your specific goal, you need to set those expectations. Some of the positives of cutting phase is overall, you're just going to be able to lose body fat. And overall, that's just going to be healthy. The less body fat that we have to a certain extent is just going to improve our health. It's overall going to improve our VO2 max. It's overall just going to make us feel better throughout the day. We have lower risk of diseases and heart-related issues. So overall, less body fat is a great thing. Also, another pro of having low body fat percentage, obviously, is the body composition side of things. So for men, typically when we get to sub 15% body fat, you're going to start to see your ab muscles pop out a little bit more. And it's one thing where people are obsessed with abs and they're like, I want to have a six pack and I have a washboard. When you get to 15% and lower, you're going to be able to visibly see those ab muscles. You're going to be able to see the definition of your muscle, and you're going to be able to kind of see how your body looks without body fat covering up. And one thing that I always like to use in a cut phase is see how my body looks, see where I need to make adjustments, so that when we go back to a bulking phase, I know exactly what muscle groups I want to bring up so that I can structure my program around that and actually have a plan. If you guys are looking to pick up a new gym outfit, make sure you check out my fitness apparel line, Fit Grind Apparel. I have the blue Fit Grind Camo zip up on today. Our whole concept is providing fitness apparel for those hard workers out there. That fitness is a grind. You put in that work day in, day out, but you also want to look good in gym outfit. So I left the link to my apparel line down in the description below. You can even use that Jordan 20 code to save 20% off first order. So if you're looking to level up a gym outfit, go check it out after I watch this video. Use that Jordan 20 code, save 20%. Let's talk about bulking next. And I want to say this first. When I'm talking about bulking, I'm talking about clean bulking. I'm not talking about throwing down Big Macs and hitting McDonald's up every day and Taco Bell, eating whatever the hell you want. That is a dirty bulk, and you will regret a dirty bulk, I promise you. So when I talk about bulk, I'm talking about a clean bulk. You're eating good food, but you're eating more of that good food. You're eating in a caloric surplus. So like I talked about, when we're cutting, the goal is to be in a consistent caloric deficit. When we're bulking, muscle doesn't come out of nowhere. We have to have energy and an excess of energy. And in order to build new lean tissue, we need to be in a caloric surplus. Now, typically the way that I structure most of my caloric surpluses for clients is going to be anywhere from that 110 to 120, maybe even 125% of their maintenance amount of calories, so that we can consistently be eating more calories than we're burning throughout the day. And when you're bulking and when you have those excess amount of calories, we want to use those calories and we want to really focus our training. Now, when I was talking about cutting, the goal was to maintain muscle mass. When we're bulking, we need to set our expectations. When we're bulking, you're going to see a gain in weight. You're going to see a gain in muscle mass if our program is structured right. But you also may see a little bit of gain in body fat. And that's something where I tell people, you have to be okay with this. This is all part of the process. And when you're gaining weight and when you're doing it correctly, you're going to put on a little body fat in the way. Now, if you're eating way more calories and you're eating like 2 times the amount of calories that you need and you're hitting up Mickey D's every day and if you're eating way too many calories, that's where you're going to see a really rapid amount of fat gain. And that's exactly why we want to avoid dirty bulking. But by eating clean foods and structuring all of your food around whole food sources, the food that you were already eating, but you're just eating more of it, you're going to be able to limit the amount of fat gain that we have so that when you go back into a cutting phase, you're going to be able to spend less time in that cutting phase and it's going to take less effort to burn off that new body fat. Now, when you are bulking, one of the huge benefits of this is that you're going to have a surplus of calories. You're going to be able to strength train. You're going to be able to focus on building strength, building new tissue. You're going to be able to recover faster. You're going to be able to handle more volume in your training. And that is really the goal, is to optimize your training and really focus on progressive overload in some way, shape, or form when you're bulking. We want to take advantage of the time where we have an excess amount of calories, because when you're bulking, like I said, you're going to be able to recover faster. Your body has lots of calories, has lots of excess energy. So it's going to put that energy towards recovering and rebuilding new tissue. So in your workouts, you're going to be able to add more sets. You're going to be able to add more weight to the bar. You're going to be able to just train more frequently. And by doing that, it's going to provide that stimulus that you need in order to build new tissue. Because like I said, muscle mass doesn't come from nowhere. We need to have the stimulus in our workouts and the caloric surplus in our nutrition to build new lean tissue. Now, as far as a bulk goes, a lot of times you'll see people and they'll spend like a month, 2 months at a bulk, and they start to put a little body fat on and they get worried. If you are serious about building lean tissue and building new mass, you need to spend at least 6 months, 9 months, 12 months in that bulking phase for it to be effective. Yes, you're going to put on a little body fat in the process, but it's nothing that you can't cut down later. But in order to see really good changes, it's going to take time, and it's going to take consistent workouts, consistent strength training, consistent caloric surplus in order to build the new tissue that you have. Because if you only spend a couple months at a caloric surplus and then you cut back down again, you might notice that there wasn't a huge body composition change and you didn't really see a lot of new tissue. Versus if you spend a good 9, 12 months in a bulk, really focus on getting stronger, providing overload, staying in that caloric surplus constantly, and really gaining weight, you're going to see more new tissue development. And when you cut down the lower body fat percentage, it's going to show. The muscles are going to stand out more if you structure your strength training program right. And overall, you're just going to be more happy at that lower body fat percentage with your body composition. Now, there is a third option that I do want to quickly talk about, and that is the option to maintain. Now, maintenance amount of calories is just that. Eating at your maintenance amount of calories, not in a caloric surplus, so we're not in a caloric deficit. And at this, if you're comfortable with where you're at and you like the way you look, you can stay in a maintenance phase. You can still focus on getting stronger. You can still focus on improving your cardiovascular system. You can still focus on having really good workouts. And in some cases, you're going to see some new lean tissue. The rate of that tissue gain and the rate of the muscle gain is going to be slower than if you're caloric surplus, but there's also not going to be that extra body fat tissue that you're putting on. So if you get to a spot where you're like, I really like the way I look, I like the way my training is going right now, I like having enough calories and not constantly being in a deficit or constantly being in a surplus, there is the option to be in a maintenance phase where you basically are trying to maintain your weight, have really good workouts. And like I said, in the process, I've seen clients where they built muscle in this phase. The rate of muscle gain is not as fast as if they're in a surplus, but they're also not putting on a lot of body fat in that process too. So you need to ask yourself, what is my goal? Do I want to lose body fat? Do I want to build muscle? Do I want to maintain my weight? And pick one of these 3 categories. Really, it's up to you. And if you're looking to cut, you need to spend at least 8, 12, 16 weeks in that cut phase to make it appropriate and make an appropriate change. Or if you're in a bulk, you need to spend an extended period of time in that bulk. The worst thing that you can do is hop from cut to bulk and maintain bulk, cut, maintain, cut. Because if you're doing this, you're never allowing yourself to spend enough time in a phase, make those changes that you want to see, and change your body composition. So make sure that you pick a goal, you stick with it, and you structure your full program around it. Now, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button. And if you haven't done so already, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Like I said, I'm posting content every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday to help you get in the best shape of your life and show you how I'm training hybrid style, where I'm mixing running and strength training to improve not only the benefits of my body composition, but of my health, my longevity, and overall just be in the best shape of my life. So if you're subscribed, you won't miss out on the content that I'm posting weekly. I'm going to leave a couple other videos for you to go watch here next on the screen about hybrid training. Make sure you go check those out next, and I'll see you guys in the next one.